Good morning, good evening to all, wherever you may be watching this video. My name is Joshua Thornton, and a little bit about myself. I'm from Helena, Arkansas. I'm currently 27 years old. My whole adult career, I've done corrections in my adult career. I've worked at the Arkansas Department of Corrections since I was 18. And about 5 to 6 years ago, I transferred to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And that's what I've currently been doing in my career. On today's presentation or discussion, we're going to talk about prison systems. We're going to compare prison systems between the United States and Saudi Arabia. These two prison systems are alike but different in particular ways, you might say. So let's get started. The legal constitution and framework. Saudi Arabia's constitution legal system is based on the religious Islamic laws. So they have a real big presence in Islamic laws. So that's what their laws are based on, religion. They have no constitution, no constitutional rights. So the 10 bills that we go by in America, they don't have that. They're not privileged of that. Our legal system is based on the Constitution, our freedom of speech, freedom to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, right to religion, right to bear arms. All of those things are privilege that Saudi Arabia doesn't have. So when people think about that, they should be very much thankful that we have these things, because people in Saudi Arabia don't have them. They wish they can express themselves out in public. They wish they can say they have another religion other than Islamic, but they might be punished. All right, in America, we have federal prison systems, and we have state prison systems, and we have jails and detention centers for certain type of crimes you commit. All right, so the number one thing, if you're ever arrested or anything, you're most likely going to go to a jail or a detention center. And this is just a holdover until your trial, arraignment, or your guilty plea, or you make bail. It's supposed to be a short-term holding facility. If you are convicted of a misdemeanor crime, you're supposed to spend no more than 12 months at a jail or detention center. So just remember that anything from 0 months to 12 months, you're supposed to do it at a detention center or a jail. Now with state crimes, state prisons are for state crimes. With state crimes, you might have murder, loitering, and a variety of other crimes. I'm sorry, I'm tied-tongue. And in federal crimes, you might have things like racketeering, conspiracy. You might be trafficking dope from state to state. And currently, I think now you have to serve 85% of your federal time before you're eligible for parole, probation. I'm not sure about the state time, but those are the guidelines for sure for federal crimes. In Saudi Arabia, the detainees cannot challenge while they're in court or while they're in prison. They have no effective counsel. They don't have any departments to investigate these complaints at all. So they're making it very hard for their citizens to have rights, to voice their opinions, because they don't have the legal resource to do that. So they're making it very hard for their citizens. Unlike us in the United States, we do have access to legal counsel and access to review. We have the right to challenge while we're in prison. Actually, if you're ever convicted, you can file an appeal, and they will look at your case again in totality and see were there any clerical errors done on the investigation part. They can see where the detectives made a mistake, the judge made a mistake, and they can just review it and see, can you get out on a technicality, or hey, this case is lock solid, you're not going anywhere. The conditions and treatments of Saudi Arabian prisoners, they're often abused in prison. You got medical neglect. Their religion might be limited. Like I said before, uh, the Islamic laws is the only thing that they recognize. So over there, you might be punished for, let's just say, saying you're a Christian. Over there, you might be punished for that alone. Medical neglect. I think, me personally, I think that the neglect comes from them not being able to adequately provide for their inmates. I don't think it's neglect. I just think they can't properly provide for their inmates. Their abusive conditions, I think, is just their correctional officers don't have the proper training on how to treat a human being. The United States, we like to punish with time, so that can be considered abuse. Like, you have some people who can do 30 years on probation. I think that's a punishment, because 30 years on probation is like you're hoping for somebody to get in trouble again. You're almost wishing for somebody to get in trouble again. I think overcrowding is an issue in the United States because of this. Continuing on. The goal of the United States is to incarcerate individuals but allow them to keep their constitutional rights. That's their goal in the United States, to allow them to keep their constitutional rights. But in Saudi Arabia, their individual rights are often violated to compensate for security goals. They're very big on religious laws. Very big on religious laws. In the past 2 years, the human rights defenders Al Sadeed were sentenced to 200 and 300 lashes. This means that they're using the old style slavery method. By lashes, they're actually whooping the people who are convicted. Amputations and cross amputations are carried out as sentences in the public in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, they are still beheading people in public. All public gatherings are banned. If they're caught having public gatherings, they're charged with inciting people against the authorities. And again, they're always tortured when they're in custody of their government. As far as the United States, we have the highest incarceration rate in the world. Currently, the United States holds over 1.8 million inmates. That is high. 1.8 million inmates in the world. The cost of prisons in the United States is well over 80 billion. That's a significant amount of currency that the United States government is spending on prison systems alone. Another fun fact, 83% of state prisoners get arrested again within 9 years of their release. That means within 9 years, they're going to be rearrested and have to go through the same thing over and over again. Because, as we know, prison can be a revolving door. And last but not least, prison is it's a business to some people. It's a business, because you have these corporations, they come in and let's just say, they can buy pillows from a prison for $1. They can buy $1 a pillow and sell it overseas for $50 a pillow. And you do the math. I thank y'all for tuning in to my discussion today. Again, this was the United States prison system versus the Saudi Arabian prison systems. They have their likes, they have their differences. I think they're more different than alike. And that's all I have for you.